Okay guys, so I was fortunate to find some organic cranberries. This is so easy. All you need is about 12 ounces of cranberries, half a cup of some fresh orange juice, half a cup of some pomegranate juice, and a cup of sugar. You can always sub with honey or whatever sweeteners you prefer. Bring to a boil and then simmer till you've got a thick consistency. It is best refrigerated overnight and then warmed the next day before serving. Yum! Okay, so for the pie crust, I used 1 1/3 cups all-purpose flour, about a 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon of powdered sugar, 7 tablespoons cold unsalted butter cubed, and 3 tablespoons cold water. Then I added all the ingredients to my processor and pulsed until the dough came together. I then formed the dough into a ball shape, wrapped it in cling wrap, and refrigerated overnight. The dough is so much easier to work with when cold. And just so that you guys know, I went ahead and doubled the recipe. Okay y'all, so it's the next day and now I'm going to start prepping the turkey. I've already set my oven to 400 degrees and now I'm going to show you what I stuff my turkey with. So I slice up into quarters 2 big oranges, 1 to 2 whole lemons. I only had half on hand, and then I quartered 1 whole onion, 2 garlic bulbs cut in half, plus I threw in the rest of the cranberries that were left from the sauce. So this is the fun part, y'all. Just start stuffing that bird with as much as you can fit, and then what you can't fit, you just place in the tin around your turkey. The more flavor, the better, right? And then of course, once the turkey is all roasted and ready to eat, you just dispose of all the fruit and veggies that you stuffed it with. So now that I've got my turkey stuffed, I'm now going to tie the legs together with some string I had on hand, which keeps everything intact and preserves the shape of your turkey. Adding some liquid to the turkey tray is very important, as this really assists in keeping your turkey moist. Typically I use chicken broth, but this time I went with cranberry apple sparkling cider. So now it's time to marinate the turkey. In my turkey rub, I included garlic powder, onion powder, rosemary, basil, parsley, turmeric, celery powder, salt and pepper, olive oil, and melted butter. Oh my goodness, y'all. So after brushing this heavenly marinade over every inch of the turkey, I then use the rest to flavor the actual meat. You really want to focus on the breasts of the turkey, as we all know this part tends to be very dry. You just break the membrane of the skin and massage the rub between the meat and the skin. Kind of gross, but totally worth it, y'all. Typically, I place my turkey in a roasting bag, but saw this quick, convenient alternative for keeping your turkey just as moist. So I cooked the turkey for about 20 minutes, added a few more herbs and spices, and then stuck it back in the oven for another 45 minutes. Removed the foil covering and then cooked it for another hour to an hour and a half, and voila! Possibly the best darn turkey y'all have ever had. Now it's time to start the candied yams, so start by skinning as many sweet potatoes that you will need depending on the amount of people you will be serving. I used 1 3-pound bag. After removing all the skin, chop them up into chunks, throw them into the hot tub and boil until fork tender. My hubby's always so much help in the kitchen. While I was preparing the yams, he was peeling the russet potatoes. So now I'm starting on my apple pie. So I take the overnight chilled pie dough out of the fridge and start rolling it out. Just after I dust the area with flour. I roll 2 layers of pie dough about 10 to 12 inches all around, one for the bottom crust and one for the top crust. So satisfying. Then I place the bottom crust in your favorite buttered pie plate. For the top crust, I slice strips of dough with my pizza cutter, or you can use a pastry wheel. You'll need about 10 strips for this lattice pie. Once you've laid the first 5 strips on top of the pie, you then just weave the other 5 strips in. A little tricky at first, but you'll get it eventually. And here goes my husband trying to show off his fancy pie crust skills. So now I'm ready to place my apple filling into the pie crust. The filling consists of about 6 large diced apples. I dice the apples because I do not like them crunchy. I think an apple pie should always be fork tender. The apples should always be fork tender, but that's just my opinion. And then I also use 2 teaspoons of apple pie seasoning and 1 cup of sugar. I also squeeze in some fresh lemon juice, but this is optional. So now I'm weaving the top crust, which is where the pie gets its name. Once you've done this a few times, you will eventually master the pattern. Now I'm going to give the edge of my pie crust a pretty shape and hide the edges of the lattice strips in with the dough, or just cut them off with pastry scissors. So you typically see chefs brush their pies with an egg wash. I use melted butter and then sprinkle generously with sugar. I put it in the oven at about 375 for 30 minutes. I take it out, cover the crust along the edges with some tin foil, and then bake for another 25 to 30 minutes. This prevents the crust from drying out or from getting burned and just keeps it so much more moist. So now I'm going to blend my yams with my mixer at high speed. Then I melt a stick of butter, measure out 1 cup of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and then I'm going to add everything into the yams, mix it again until blended and smooth. Now I just pour them into a casserole dish, smooth them over and top with marshmallows. Usually I just pour them over the top, but this time I thought I'd make it a little more fancy. So I finished this dish by sprinkling a little cinnamon over the top and then putting it into the oven at 350 for about 20 to 30 minutes or until marshmallows are melting and toasted. Better than your mama's, y'all. So now we are finishing this Thanksgiving food prep with one of the most popular dishes of all, the potatoes. So to these potatoes, we added 1 stick of melted butter, 1 bar of room temperature cream cheese, 1 cup of ranch dressing, the bomb, and a generous amount of salt and pepper. I used 1 tablespoon of salt. The salt brings out all the flavors, you guys. You gotta have plenty of salt. And then I used 1 teaspoon of pepper. You guys, this is the best. These are the best potatoes ever, hands down. Try this recipe. And then you're just gonna blend it all together until super, super creamy. That easy. I really hope you guys enjoyed this Thanksgiving food prep. If so, give it a thumbs up. Smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Follow me over on Instagram under supermom of7. Head on over to my website at fairandorganized.com, and I really hope to see you all in the next video. Happy 2020 Thanksgiving, you guys. Bye.